Hello, my soul tribe, and welcome to my podcast, Nirvana with Nirvano. In this episode, we are going to be talking about something incredibly useful, tangible, quick, and actionable, actually, to connect to your intuition, your higher self, the parts of you that you have not owned up right till now, any unprocessed emotions, or even to clear out your thoughts and mental loops. It is an incredibly helpful and powerful exercise. And yes, this came about. So I just wanted to share this, and this has been incredibly helpful on my own journey. This is automatic writing. I don't know whether you've heard of this term. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I don't think it is being talked about enough, and how incredibly useful it is for, and something that works for a lot of people. Would work if you try, of course. So in this episode, I would love to share, give you some prompts on how you can go about doing your automatic writing, how it can help you, how it has helped me and cleared my path and helped me connect to my best version, my higher self, and also process the ugly parts of me, the things that I was holding on to from decades ago. I just sort of use this tool to process those things, and yeah, it's an incredibly helpful tool, and let's just dive right into it. So automatic writing is what do you do? You just sit, take a pen and paper, have some time. Whenever you have some time on your hands, you just sit. If you want to know about a particular aspect of your being, or why you act a certain way, or a trigger of yours, maybe a fear of yours, maybe some guidance on a particular aspect of your life, or something that happened that day, or maybe to just get it out, the mental stuff, to sort that mess, sort of. If you're feeling incredibly cluttered in your head and completely confused and lost, then also this practice is incredibly helpful. So how you start, you just so I address it to the version that I want to be, my higher self, my spirit guides, my mother, Matara, and Archangel Michael. That's who I address it to. But you can, of course, address it to whoever you believe in, God, existence, or your best friend, or whoever you want to address it to. Know you're really addressing it to yourself, so that aspect of you. So you can just, I think it would be incredibly helpful for you to open up if you address it, if you feel like you are addressing it to somebody you love and somebody who loves you. I hope you have somebody of that sort in your life. I'm sure you must be having. Even if you don't feel loved, you can just address it to God or higher power or anything, and it will be just as effective. So you write, dear this, at least this is how I do it. Of course, there are n number of ways of doing it, and you can go on YouTube or wherever and look for other ways if this really resonates with you, this technique. But I'm just going to share my experiences with it, and how I use it, and how it has been incredibly effective in my life. So you just write, dear this, and then you ask a question. I like to do it in the form of a question. Sometimes I like to dive right into how I'm feeling, of course, after addressing. But still, mostly I ask for guidance on a particular aspect of my life, a particular trigger, a particular event that happened that day, or some memory that is being triggered from maybe past few years back, when I had some unprocessed feelings about something, or something that is coming up that I feel that there is a need for me to bring into my conscious awareness and clear it up on all levels, on mentally, emotionally, and even if there is a physical component to it, to release those things. But all that for later. You just ask a question, then you sit back and relax, take a few deep breaths, and just you get into a relaxed state. Don't expect too much out of it when you're starting out. Don't expect you to ask about the divine crazy mysteries of this universe. You can actually try it, and if you're just receptive enough, you might as well just get answers to even those kind of questions through this. But I would, if you're just starting out and if you're not that connected to your intuition, if you're still learning to trust something that is of the beyond and not too tangible, not too straight jacket, which is sort of your intuition, or not too logical, I would just advise you to start small. So ask about a very you can just be very general and ask about even your relation to a particular person, or what it means and why some connection is there. You can also ask about anything actually, why anything happens, how anything happens, but later. But just start small, and how you're feeling and why you're feeling a certain way would be some good questions that you should ask. If you're feeling repeatedly triggered by a particular thing, or you are in a state of irritation is something that just comes up regularly in your life, or maybe there is some other heavy baggage or burden or something that hankers around in your life, then maybe you can ask about it slowly and gently. Don't expect Rome wasn't built in a day, so just don't expect everything to flow on the first day if you're just getting started, but it will start flowing if you just stick with it long enough. So you can just make it a regular practice, and it could be an everyday incredible everyday exercise for you to clear your head and start processing those knots in our energy. So how I see it is, when I have a knot for some process, I've been on the journey for over 4 years and have been deliberately processing many shadow aspects of my soul, my fears, my demons. I'm facing them head on. I have my own spiritual awakening journey and reconnecting to my intuition and higher self journey, and then my soul purpose and soul gifts are opening up now, and I'm learning about why I was born and why I'm here. But these things can start to occur. Even today, I use this simple technique of automatic writing to just clear out my head and to ask questions to a higher space of wisdom. You can, even inside me, even if you want, if that helps, if you cannot wrap your head around something external being a greater, wiser power that is governing your life, or maybe helping you or guiding you, you can just see it. If you're too logically oriented, you can also look at it like this, that it is a part of an aspect of you that is a better version of you, that is already a wiser version of you, and that is what you're connecting to. So that can also help get around the blockage of not being able to write or receive answers. So you ask the question, and then you start you wait for intuitive answers or things to pop up for you. For me, as soon as I write the question, as soon as I write the question, the answer starts coming to me. So I don't even need to use automatic writing as such, but I enjoy the process and it helps. But maybe later on I will not even use that. But yes, so you can just write the question, wait, get into receiving mode, Allow the answer to come. Trust that you are being guided, you will be guided, and trust that your hand knows what the answer is. If it is too complicated for you to trust into a higher power, just know that you're talking to that aspect of you which is much wiser, which knows the right things, the good in you, the the more the more connected one in you, your own intuition, and that is guiding you through your hands. So be relaxed and start just writing what comes up. Do not judge it. Look, there's nobody looking at what you're writing. This is not an exam. This is an exercise of self love. This is an exercise in knowing who you really are and connecting to your own subconscious parts. So do not be scared. Do not be all judgy with you. Let whatever is coming up, come up. If you feel it is getting too overwhelmed, something dark or heavy might start coming from your own unprocessed emotions from the past, then just relax. You just, be a little bit intuitive about it. That's what we are learning. So you will know when to stop and then pick it up again next day, or when again you're ready and again in that receptive state and in that space where you know that you want to move ahead on your journey. So yes, the answer will come. It must come. So question and answers are two parts of the same coin, two aspects of the same coin. So once a question comes up, the answer must come. It is law and you can trust it. So don't be scared. Ask your questions. You can ask all sorts of questions. Do not judge it. Be completely unhinged. Ask anything about anything, but start with yourself. Make it more manageable. And once you start building that connection with your inner self, with your inner guidance mechanism through that practice of automatic writing, it would be much, much, much more easier to just ask about other people and how you relate with them, and even then you can go deeper into how things work, how nature is, what are the laws that govern your life, and many other things, or what resource you should look up to for guidance on something, and you can get guidance for it. And then you can get some intuitive hits about how you would feel, or what signs or synchronicities you would see for your further guidance. Sometimes the guidance might be that a book that you might have heard about but never thought of reading. That book can come up in that automatic writing practice, and you might be inclined to read it. You can also go very specific and ask for a specific chapter in that book where the answer is. And of course, it is all accessible, and know that the right answers, the right guidance is accessible for you. We are all being guided. We are not alone on this journey, and I can testify for that through my own experience. So I like to move incredibly quickly, and of course I started small, but now it's almost like whenever I'm feeling too overwhelmed, I use this practice, and it's incredibly helpful. And after it, I feel completely in the know, completely relaxed, completely supported, guided, loved, and I come back to my higher frequency me, the version that feels happy and glad and blessed to be alive, and lucky version of me. Another thing that for those of you who like to go real fast, fast not be the best way of going for all things in all situations, but at least for me, if I don't know, I just feel like somebody out there needs to listen to this, so that's why I'm sharing. This would not work for most, but it can also work if you're a little bit open and ready to go all into looking at your darker aspects, your fears. If you've already reached that point where your life is like where you are actually screaming inside that, okay, now I need to change things around. Now this is actually not working the way I'm living. I really need to make some changes. If you are at that space, I would guide you, and if you're ready to go all out, this is for those people who are ready to go all out. You can start by mentioning your top 20 fears, 30 fears, or whatever. I'm using this number very randomly. It can be more, it can be less, but I just want, but you would not have too many big fears, if, yeah, normally you wouldn't have too many big fears, not 20 big fears. I don't think somebody would have, but you might as well have, but because you are on your spiritual awakening journey and your conscious life journey and connecting to your intuition journey of better decision making, so definitely this will help. So you can write about 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever. Just keep writing till it is flowing, and then again try the next day if anything wants to come up. And once it is all on the paper, you will feel that the communication has dried up, so nothing more is coming up. So that's cue for you to move on to your next question. So I would write, if I'm just starting out and I want to go all out, I would write my top 20, 30, 40 fears. I would write my 40, 50 belief system, 50 belief systems, or what I think to be true about love, all major concepts in our life. So I would write about my 50 core belief system about money. I would write about my 50 belief systems that I hold about time, my relation with time, or what is true about time. I would write about even death. I would write my beliefs on death, if that interests you, and if you want to die, if that feels exciting, of course. I would write about love, what I think about love, what I really feel about love. 50 belief systems would be like, if you have gone that deep, 50 is like too much. Even if you have gone past the 20-25 mark, you will have a very good understanding of where you stand in terms of your relation with time, money, and a lot of things then in your life will start making sense. Okay, of course, a person who thinks that money doesn't grow on trees will face these kind of situations. Of course, somebody who believes that love is far and in between would have trouble manifesting or even getting connected to a partner, right? And you are the creator of your life, and that's why we are doing this, even because you have the power to change your life. This is just an incredibly amazing tool to use. And moving on, we'll be dealing with further tools and techniques and laws that govern this universe. Very practical, very applicable, it can be very out there also, but I'm completely unhinged. I'm not holding back anything. So yes, and leading by example, being authentic and sharing wherever I am on the journey. I don't have to be perfect. Neither do you need to be perfect. You just need to be perfectly you wherever you are, which is wherever you are on the journey. That version is already perfect. So no judgment there. Yeah. On that was a tangent I didn't plan on taking, but yes, going with the flow here. So I would talk about 50 core belief systems around money, around and time, and around death, around love, around relationships, around what I deserve in this life, around abundance, around my connection with this world, whether I think this world is a safe place or whether I think this world is a cruel place where I just have to be completely in defense mode all the time. So you will just start like, oh my god, like the amount of clarity and self-awareness and the enlightenment of your own being that you will come to know about post doing these exercises, this continuous practice of automatic writing, it's speechless. You'll be speechless, I'm sure, and you'll start to make so many connections about why things are the way they are in your life and where you're heading. So much guidance can come through just by looking at these definitions. We are also going to work on, in this podcast, we'll not this episode, but we'll be talking about working with belief systems